I'm not recording myself today, so it's a pleasure to have you here. I am sharing about how to use the nature of emotion cards around decision making or conflict resolution. The same tool we're going to be using, it's known as FOG, comes from a 6-second tool. I now often teach it, calling it the Uber tool, because the model, you have to say where you are in the present and where your destination is, where you're trying to get to, and that'll determine what route we go on. So how we begin is, if we are making a decision, we're going to look at the present. So an example was, we recently moved house. We had the option to stay where we were, or we had the option to move. So we were all feeling a bit uncertain. There were a lot of pros to both. You may have logically logged pros and cons or anything. I got my emotion cards and went through them. If we stay, how would I feel? I actually used the gingerbread journal as well, actually drawing in my body how that felt and the words I chose to go with it. And then we look at the second option and what did I feel? And there were positives on both, but there were expansively more, plenty more positives, expansion in the one option. And so that for me settled my heart around that choice. So that is one way around decision making, and you may have option C and D. You might want to sit with it and come back to it if it's a big option. Small one, you can do the process in 10 minutes. So literally in the present, you are listing your feelings. You may check in with your body, and that's where you can use a gingerbread character, or if you've got the gingerbread journal, and you might want to check in with your thinking about it. Like, what is your current thinking, pros, cons, whatever, as you see it. So you're really looking, this is where we stand. What influences the decision here is, what is your goal? So where are you trying to get to? Sorry, my writing is not being very neat. So what is your destination, your goal, in where you would like to go in the situation? So here is my goal. And you might consider, because as soon as we have clear on our destination, we may have been considering this as an option. But as soon as we get really clear on the future of who we want to become, I like to think of your goal as who you are becoming, not just where you're going. So your why might be part of your goal, what your values are, and also your priorities. Maybe there's financial pressures, and that's a priority. So if you look at the various aspects of your goal, suddenly that rules out this option because it's nowhere near your destination. So getting clear on your goal then helps you look at, and you may choose an emotional goal as well. Sorry, I left that out. So you can sit down and choose how you want to feel. And that was, it gives you a very different take on something. And that might just be one way of doing it that influences what you choose. But once you're there, this is where you start to look at all the ways you can get from where you are to where you want to go. And it could literally take us like this. We don't know. But resilience, or learned optimism, as it's called in the 6-second emotional model, suggests that to really be looking in the space of resilience, you need to have 3 win-win options of how you could get from where you are to where you want to go. So that's in decision making. Now the whole process can also be used in the same way with conflict resolution, because you've butted up against someone in your family, at work. You can then both have space to speak your thoughts, your feelings, what's going on for you. Really just listening. This is just being present. There's no judgment. Whatever's going on for you, whatever's going on for the other person. A recognition of what your goals are as a family, or in a business, or a team, or for your relationship as a couple. What are your goals? And when you're clear that you have where your goals overlap, or you've got the same goal, you can then look, how do we get from where we are to where we go? So it's a beautiful, simple process that can be used in numerous ways. And if you haven't already seen, there are videos on how to do the emotional multivitamin, which I call the check-in, how options if your check-in is a day of deep struggle and a lot of bad weather in your emotional environment, what to do. Check it out, and I'll follow up with new videos of ways to use the Nature of Emotion cards. And you can sign up for my newsletter at natureofemotions.com.